everyone. Let's look at the topic, how to identify the class of IP address. IP address is also known as logical address, and it acts as a unique identifier of a computer or a device on the network. There are two versions of IP address, IPv4 and IPv6, 32-bit addressing and 128-bit addressing each. The 32-bit IP address is separated into four 8-bit octets, allowing each octet to have a value ranging from 0 to 255. There are two notations of IP address. One is binary notation, another is dotted decimal notation. When the IP address is represented in the form of ones and zeros of combination in the 32-bit format, then it is called as binary notation. When the IP address is represented in the form of decimal numbers, each octet is separated with a dot. That's why it's dotted decimal notations. It's more easier to read for human. When you talk about class full IP address, the class full IP address indicates the IP address is divided into different classes A, B, C, D and E because we have more than 4 billion number of address ranges because IPv4 uses 32-bit addresses. So there are 5 different classes, class A, B, C, D and E. We can represent IP address in the form of binary or in the form of dotted decimal notation. But the first byte always helps us to identify the class of IP address. Let's understand how. If the IP address belongs to class A, its first bit is 0 or it's ranging from 0 to 127. If the IP address belongs to class B, its first two bits are 10 and in decimal it is 128 to 191 as a decimal range. If the IP address belongs to class C, its first three bits are 110 if represented in binary, or the range in dotted decimal is 192 to 223. If the IP address belongs to class D, it's having 1110 as the first 4 bits, or in dotted decimal it is 224 to 239. And if we represent class E, then its range is from 240 to 255 in dotted decimal notation, and if it is represented in binary, it is having first 4 bits as 1111. Let's look at some examples. For example, if the IP address is represented in this format, which is 32-bit binary format, we observe the first byte. We observe the first bit is 0. It indicates it's a class A IP address. Similarly, if the IP address is represented in numeric format, decimal format, then observe the first byte, which is 252. 252 will have the range which is belonging to class E, because class E is having 240 to 255. I hope you have understood this, and thank you.